There is someone out there right now who hasn't felt truly at peace since you walked away. Someone who wakes up with a strange heaviness in their chest and goes to bed with a mind that can't quiet down. Someone whose life feels off, not dramatically broken, not obviously ruined, but subtly, painfully unbalanced. Things don't line up for them anymore. Relationships feel strained. Conversations go wrong. Opportunities slip through their fingers. Even moments that should feel joyful leave them unsettled. And they know why. Because they did something to you that disrupted the natural order. Something unfair. Something they justified at the time. Something they told themselves wasn't that serious. But it was. And now the universe is correcting it. Not through revenge. Not through confrontation. Not through you saying a single word. But through imbalance. This message isn't here to stir anger or reopen wounds. It's here to give you something you've been waiting for without even realizing it. Closure. The kind of closure that doesn't come from apologies or explanations, but from knowing, deeply, calmly, that justice has already been delivered. And once you understand what's happening right now, something inside you will finally relax. Because the scales are tipping back in your favor. When you read the title of this message, a face appeared in your mind. Maybe immediately, maybe slowly, maybe more than one. People who took advantage of your fairness. People who leaned on your patience while giving you imbalance in return. People who expected you to compromise endlessly, but never met you halfway. You remember the moments. The conversations where you explained yourself gently, hoping to restore harmony. The times you swallowed your feelings just to keep the peace. The situations where you tried to see all sides, even when no one was trying to see yours. And at some point, you wondered if maybe you were the problem. Maybe you were too accommodating, too understanding, too willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. But here is what you need to hear clearly. The problem was never your desire for harmony. The problem was that you were offering balance to people who thrived in imbalance. You are a Libra. You are ruled by justice, by fairness, by the deep instinct to make things right. You don't walk through life seeking dominance or control. You seek equilibrium, mutual respect, emotional symmetry, and that is rare. So rare that many people don't know how to handle it. Instead of appreciating it, they exploit it. Instead of matching it, they lean on it. Instead of protecting it, they disrupt it. And then they act surprised when everything falls apart. If you were born between September 23rd and October 2nd, the person feeling this imbalance is likely someone from your social or professional world. Someone who benefited from your diplomacy but never gave you fair treatment in return. If you were born between October 3rd and October 12th, this person comes from a romantic relationship or deep emotional bond. Someone who expected your loyalty, your understanding, your emotional labor, but dismissed your needs as secondary. And if you were born between October 13th and October 22nd, this person is someone close, family, or inner circle. Someone who judged you unfairly, assumed too much, and now lives with the consequences of that misjudgment. No matter who they are, the pattern is the same. They disrupted the balance. And the universe does not ignore imbalance, especially when it's inflicted on someone whose soul is wired for justice. Here is something most people don't understand about how the universe works with Libra energy. It doesn't punish loudly. It doesn't strike immediately. It doesn't announce its verdict. It recalibrates. When someone treats a Libra unfairly, when they manipulate the scales in their favor, the universe doesn't rush in with dramatic consequences. It waits. It lets them continue. It lets them believe they got away with it. It lets them move forward. And then, quietly, it removes the balance from their life. Suddenly, nothing feels aligned. They argue more than they connect. They give more than they receive. They feel misunderstood, undervalued, overlooked. They start experiencing the very things they once minimized when you expressed them. And the most unsettling part? They recognize the pattern. They know this feeling. They felt it before, through you. They are now living inside the emotional environment they created for you. Being dismissed. Being taken for granted. Being blamed for wanting fairness. And unlike you, they don't know how to navigate it gracefully. Because balance was never their nature. This is the mini-climax most people never see. The moment when the person who wronged you realizes that life feels wrong, and that you were the stabilizing force they underestimated. They remember how calm things were when you were around, how conflict softened, how decisions made sense, how life flowed more smoothly. And now that flow is gone. They try to fix it externally. New people, new distractions, new environments. But the imbalance follows them. Because the source wasn't outside. It was you. And this realization creates something heavy inside them. Shame. Not the dramatic kind. The quiet, corrosive kind. The shame of knowing they had fairness in their hands and distorted it. The shame of realizing they were trusted and misused that trust. The shame of seeing their life tilt and understanding exactly why. You may not witness this. You may never hear them admit it. But their inner world knows. And that is where true justice happens. Here is the most important shift for you, Libra. This is not happening so you can feel validated by their suffering. It's happening so the energetic tie between you can finally dissolve. When someone treats you unfairly, especially when you stay silent to preserve peace, an energetic imbalance is created. A kind of invisible debt. Part of your energy stays connected, waiting for fairness to be restored. That's why, even after moving on, you sometimes felt unsettled, like something was unfinished. Now, that unfinished business is resolving itself without your involvement. The universe is restoring balance on your behalf. And as it does, you will start to notice changes. You may think of them suddenly, but without emotion. You may dream of them, but the dream will feel like an ending, not a longing. You may see their name or hear about them and feel nothing. No urge to explain. No desire to clarify. No need to reopen the story. That neutrality is not indifference. It's freedom. It's the sign that the scales are finally even. You see, Libra, you were never meant to fight for justice loudly. You were meant to embody it. Your presence alone reveals imbalance. Your absence amplifies it. That's why your silence after being wronged is so powerful. It forces the universe to step in. And now that it has, something remarkable begins to happen in your life. The heaviness lifts. Decisions become clearer. Your energy returns. You start attracting people who meet you where you are, without constant negotiation. Conversations feel mutual again. Effort feels shared. Harmony feels natural, not forced. You realize how exhausting it was to always be the one adjusting. And you stop. This is another quiet climax. The moment you recognize that balance doesn't require sacrifice, it requires reciprocity. The person who wronged you is now learning this lesson from the opposite side. They try to recreate what they had with you, but something is always missing. People are inconsistent. Promises feel empty. Dynamics feel transactional. They compare, even when they don't want to. Every time something feels unfair, they remember how patient you were. Every time they feel misunderstood, they remember how carefully you listened. Every time life feels chaotic, they remember the calm you brought. And they understand, perhaps for the first time, that harmony is not common. It's cultivated, and they lost access to it. The shame they carry isn't just about losing you. It's about realizing they disrupted something sacred. For you, this realization translates into peace. Not because they regret it, but because you no longer carry the weight of unresolved injustice. You don't need their apology. You don't need their acknowledgement. You don't need their remorse. The universe has already spoken. And once that truth settles into your nervous system, your life begins to expand. You feel lighter in your body, more confident in your choices, more selective with your energy. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-compromising. You stop shrinking yourself to keep others comfortable. And this doesn't make you cold. It makes you balanced. You were never meant to be the mediator for people who refuse to meet you in fairness. You were meant to walk alongside those who understand that harmony is co-created. As this new phase unfolds, you may notice something else. People treat you differently. Not because you've changed who you are, but because the energetic distortion around you has been removed. You stand more firmly. You speak more clearly. You choose more consciously. And the universe responds. Opportunities align. Connections deepen. Paths that once felt blocked open effortlessly. The person who wronged you will observe this from a distance. They will see you thriving, not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. And that will be their final lesson. That fairness ignored becomes imbalance endured. And harmony lost is rarely recovered. Libra, you were not too much. You were too fair for someone who benefited from imbalance. And now, the scales have adjusted. The chapter is closed, not through confrontation, but through cosmic correction. Take a moment and notice how you feel right now. That quiet calm. That's justice. That's balance restored. And from this place, you are free to build a life where your value is never questioned, only honored. If this message reached you, It's because you were ready to release the weight you've been carrying silently. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to defend it. Just acknowledge it and move forward lighter than before. The universe has already done the rest.